Here we are the day of closing, just doing a final walkthrough and trying to go through the checklist. We finally got the garage door leveled. As you can see, it's going up right now. And we got the lights on the interior. That's working. On the water heater, we'll ask for again. It's only got 2 straps, but they cleaned off the paint. And they patched the hole where the drywall damage there. And then you can see the different patch marks on the stem wall. Another one there. And we still have the rough edges on the bottom. We'll talk again about that. But we've got the garage door now closes even. The guy's taking off now. And then same thing with the other one. Well, not the same thing, but we've got the trim's been fixed. Got some lag bolts there. Gotta ask what was that about. We got all the paint touched up in here. Up on the ceiling, we saw some touch-up paint there. And the tape there. Inside here, we still have rough touch-up on bottom drywall. This side where the weather stripping wasn't coming all the way, we now have it flush with the garage door. Into the entry, we got the bottom corner there, touched up with a little bit of paint, had some bare concrete exposed. And then the door, as you can see on the bottoms, had some touch-up work. And around the trim has also been touched up. Coming into the interior. Into the entry. We had all the baseboards touched up. They're looking pretty rough originally. Downstairs bedroom. Down here, if you look at the grout, it's a little bit grayer on this one, but the perimeter is noticeably darker. So I've already sent pictures to the upgrade team to see what they think. Got a little paint overspray there where the baseboard meets the tile. I'm sure that can just be cleaned up with a file. And then everything else looking good here. Looks like the stopper's been adjusted based on the height. Some of the other ones are only coming about halfway. Check to see if those have been fixed. Then we had all the windowsills touched up. They were looking pretty rough before with some cracked caulking. Paint wasn't finished. Same thing, downstairs half bath. We had the plunger raised. See, it goes all the way up there. On some of the others, it's only going about halfway. So we'll check to see if that's been done. Paint's all been touched up above the mirror. Downstairs living room. Check and see if the paint has been touched up in the closet. And that it has. And some paint marks there. Everything in the closet's looking good. Into the living room. Again, we had all the windowsills touched up. You can kind of see where the paint overlay is. And then the outlet's been raised to be flush. In the kitchen, we had the stain, or I should say the streak marks taken off the floor. We already checked all the cabinets off camera. Everything's good there. And then just kind of a once over. Just check for any water damage before, just in case. The cabinet you mentioned, we don't see any damage on it. I can see some touch up right there where it's been cut. So it looks like that's been repaired. We had a lot of touch up paint in this one as well. That all looks like it's been done. Yeah, just double checking all the appliances, making sure everything's good to go. Again, all the cabinets were already checked. Okay, and these are the patio doors. Opens with one finger. Looks like everything's been straightened out. Andrew had mentioned that there was a piece of wood that was stuck in one of the tracks, and that might have been the cause of it. So again, one finger close. Does take a little more to get it to actually lock. Good there. Looks like some little hair. Let me check on the other side. It looks like it's in between the film. I don't know if that's gonna be an issue if it comes up on camera. It just looks like a little pen mark. Again, I don't know if you can even see that. There it is. Anyhow, pretty minor. Again, that's another pan just of the living room, kitchen. Everything down here on the list has been fixed. And then we go upstairs. Looks like all the work on the handrail's been touched up. And as we come up into the loft, they did fix this spot right here. And then they said they'd do a secondary touch-up. Kind of hard to tell if it's been secondarily touched up, but did bring that to his attention. Probably hard to see, but there is some mastic on the roof chips. Looks like that one's been fixed. And on that corner there too. I know it's kind of hard to see, but I can't tell now there at the edge, that one's been fixed or a shadow. But did point both those out, so it's kind of tough to tell. Now as we come up here, the weather stripping before it's taken off. And it's fairly flush, not completely, but put some weight on top if you want a more of a firm seal. Then as we come into this bathroom, it doesn't look like that one has not been fixed. I don't know if you can see that, how it's sitting too low. It should be sitting like that. So that one's good. That one's not. Tub seal's been fixed. And they cleaned up the grout lines over there. I put the tape down there, but they're not gonna put caulking on the bottom of the baseboards they won't do. So everything on this bathroom, except that, has been corrected. Kind of hard to see it, but that's the seal, the chip there. Into the laundry room, this little chip there. He said they're gonna fix it, I'm not quite sure how, probably some wood Bondo to give it more of a point. And then I know we had some touch-up work in here on the windowsills. That's all been fixed. This is the bedroom, almost the corner of the garage. Again, this one just had paint touch-up. And then the next bedroom is right above the garage. And then on this one, we're at the top of the registers, put caulking on top of them, or where they meet the drywall, so it's more flush. Because those had a fairly large gap. Paint touch up on this one. Same thing with the windowsills. Those got touched up. And here was his paint touch up as well. Then upstairs, left side master. You had a lot of paint touch up here on the edges. Some here, it looks like a piece of trim. I don't know if they perhaps took that off in the corner. And touch up on window sills is here as well. This bathroom, got a touch up there in the corner. This faucet has not been fixed. See, that's sitting pretty well. I'll have to probably have to double check. Yeah, that one has not. See, it only goes up an inch or two. Grout on this one, same thing. We got a gray perimeter. Interior is more of a white color. Design Center's checking on that to see if that's correct. Baseboards look good. Over to the right side master. Again, we had a lot of touch up on the window sills here as well. I mean, there's a few more chips there on the tile. You can see some mastic. So it looks like they've replaced some portions with mastic, and some are still chipped. Into the bathroom. So these look like they're done correctly. Tell by the clearance on the back. That one, yeah, that one's done correctly too. You can tell by the height. We asked them to put some caulking there on the corners of the baseboard. Just needs a little more touch up. You can see they're cracked already. And then, same thing here on the grout. The grout towards draining is dirty. And then you've got some grout that's adhered to the tile. And again, you can see it's a different color. On the outside stucco trim, I actually can't tell if they fixed them. It looks sloppy. Actually, no, wait, they didn't. See a little gap there, so we'll call that out again. Same thing down here. They took off the blue tape, so it's a little bit harder to see, but there's just a little bit stucco's thin. Fix this one. You can see the remnants of the blue tape. And then they did pull a wire out here to the right side corner. And then from the outside, I forgot to film the plant paint ledge. That's been painted. And then same thing with the ledge inside, right above the entry, has been painted and corrected. And that's essentially everything.